Welcome back to Before the Bell. I'm Frank Trigg. That's Nick Kalikas. This week we're talking about UFC Fight Night 80. Supposed to be Van Zant versus Calderwood, but Calderwood gets hurt, and in steps Rose. So first, let's go with the co-main event, and this is still one of those weird things where guys are on the co-main event, girls are on the main event. You know, lighter, heavier is earlier, lighter is later. This is like the UFC once again, kind of like they revamp how we're supposed to look at sports, and it's great. It's absolutely amazing. Co-main events: Jim Miller and Michael Chiesa. I gotta think that Michael's got to be the underdog in this one. Jim Miller's the underdog on this one. Michael's got to be the favorite in this one. That's kind of what I think because Jim, as of late, just hasn't been impressive to me.
Yeah, it is really. That's kind of the thing right now. It's close to a pick'em fight. It's 120 minus 120 right now for Chessa, and the comeback on Miller is even money. So it's basically a coin flip with a slight lean towards Chessa. Because really, if you look at Miller throughout his career, I mean, he's faced top-notch competition. He's been one of the best lightweights for sure, for a long time because he's got such a well-rounded game. I mean, he can beat you on the ground, he can beat you standing. He doesn't have many flaws, but you're right. It seems like he is kind of on a decline, and that's kind of not fair to say, I guess, because he's had his moments where he still looked like obviously he's performed really well, so you got to give him credit for that. But I think Jess is getting him at a good time, and I mean the kid keeps on improving. He's a little bit younger, a little bit fresher. He does seem to improve fight by fight, even his stand-up game, and I think he probably gets some takedowns on Miller, which is a little while back, a couple years ago I wouldn't have said that, but right now I think Jess's ground game might be, at least offensive wrestling wise, it might be a little bit better than Miller, so he's going to have some advantages in this fight.
Too, I think with Jim, he takes you down and then passes you, where Michael takes down and passes you at the same time. So he's going to end up either in half or full inside by the time you get down there. So it's very difficult when you automatically hit the ground and you have to immediately fight your way back to guard to do anything at all on the bottom other than get up. And then Michael has a really good job of keeping guys down on the ground when he wants to keep them there. So I really like the way this line is set up, and I think that unfortunately for this one, it's going to be another. This one is a favorite one because it's so close. I'm only going to lay a couple of bucks on this one, but I'm going to put it on Chessier because I think this is the better fight of this one. And if I was going to do a parlay, I'd definitely have Michael in a parlay. Is that the way I should look at it for this?
Well, I mean, the line's tight enough that it's a straight bet. If you're going to go for it, I'd just make it a straight bet, not even tie him up in a parlay, to be honest with you. Because, yeah, I mean, minus 120, you're not laying a lot of juice. And, I mean, if you do see value in that, like, I agree with you. I think that's probably the side. He's just getting him at the right spot. So 120, there's value straight for me as well. So I would go that way.
Okay. Let's move on to the main event, Rose and Paige. I mean, everybody kind of knows, like, who they want to win. There's no fence riding on this one. Obviously, for Paige, Joanne Calderwood was the better, easier opponent for her. That fight would have been much easier for her to battle. Obviously, Rose is great on the outside. She's great game on her back, but this is a 5-round fight. How do you think Rose is going to do come round 4 and 5?
I don't think she's going to do too well, honestly. I mean, as the fight drags out, so her best shot is winning by submission or possibly even knockout early on in the fight. She's definitely dangerous, and you're right, absolutely. I think this is a tougher matchup than Calderwood was for her because Rose is just a little bit more keen on the ground. Obviously, a lot of people think Rose is going to win this fight, and she might be a live dog. Could be. I don't think so, though. I think that Paige has improved so much. I mean, she's training at a great camp with Alpha Male and crew over there. I know they've had their problems or whatnot, but still, if you look at Paige fight by fight, she's getting better each time out. And if you look at Rose, I mean, again, she's talented, definitely one of the best in the division. But as a fight does carry on at times against quality competition, she doesn't keep that pace up. And Paige Van Zant will keep that pace up. I mean, she's relentless, and her scrambling ability is phenomenal as well. So I think she ends up getting top position. She avoids the sub, and then ends up kind of grinding out a decision, or even maybe finishing Rose as the fight goes on around 4 or around 5. So I do lean against the grain here because it seems like most people are picking Rose as an underdog. I actually like Paige as a favorite here.
Isn't Rose ranked higher than Paige?
Yes, she currently is. But you know what? I mean, you know better than anybody too. I mean, you could throw the rankings out the window at times. I mean, there's a lot of people. Yeah, it is what it is.
Let's be honest. It's not throw the rankings out at times. You pretty much can throw the ranking out all the time because honestly, you're gonna have the champ, like a dominant, undefeated champ, like a 9-fight win streak, and all of a sudden throw in like the number 12 person in the weight class, and the matchup just works out with 12 wins. But 12 can't beat anybody else. Between number 2 and number 11, can't beat anybody else, but can beat the champ. It's just how it works. Like MMA is just that anomaly, which makes betting on these fights so amazing. I'm going to disagree with you, man. I think Rose has got this one. I think Rose is going to be able to catch her early. I think Rose is going to be able to sting her a little bit. Everybody knows that Paige is going to attack, 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 attack. And when you're a long distance, rangy fighter, that gives you a lot of space to backpedal and tap somebody. You don't have to knock them out with every single punch because we all know Rose doesn't do very well in the clinch and inside trying to punch. She throws looping, kind of sloppy punches, no kind of power on them. But on the outside, she hits hard. She's got a great taekwondo background, which throws in a lot of weird kicks, a lot of weird punches. So I think personally that Rose is going to win this fight, but she's going to have to do it early. She's going to have to finish it in the third round. And if it hits round 4, if it hits round 5, then it's going to be one of those things where it could be a toss-up, depending on how the rounds looked earlier. If one round is a split, then it's going to go towards Paige's direction.
Yeah, you might have it there, honestly. But yeah, I agree. It's going to have to be early if Rose does win. But besides that, I think it's Paige Van Zandt to continue her climb. It's funny how the UFC matched this, though, right? I mean, they were giving Paige a very respectable opponent in Calderwood to get a quality win, I think. And then she fell out. And of course, they gave her another opponent that's honestly, I think it is a winnable fight for her, again, if she doesn't get caught. So they're trying to get her a quality win here. It might backfire on them a little bit. And if it does, no big deal, right? Because Rose is ultra popular and very marketable as well. So either way, it's kind of a win-win situation here because if Rose wins, I mean, her stock just keeps on rising and she'll eventually get another title shot. If Paige wins, that's a huge win for her as well. And it takes her kind of to another level. So win-win situation, but I am going to go with Paige here.
Okay, there you have it. We're splitting on this one. That's Kalikas. I'm Frank Trigg. This is Before the Bell. We'll see you tomorrow.